It's a good day to learn something new about the neighborhood surrounding you. Scotty's here this morning, ready to say, here's what's happening in Central Florida today. So let there be light and rise up right. Good neighbors, good morning. We've got good news in sight, and maybe some bad news too.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Rise and Shine Show. I'm your host, Scottie Campbell. The Rise and Shine Show is a show where we take a look at the most read stories from OrlandoShine.com. Orlando Shine is a news website here in Central Florida that covers the Central Florida region. And today we're lucky to have our guest, a returning guest, Mr. Brendan O'Connor. Whoop, there
Hello.
we go.
I think I have the most appearances logged, so I should get an award.
Something.
Thanks for having me, Scotty.
Perhaps a smile. Of course. And Brendan, for those of you who don't know, is the founder, head person,
Grand Poobah
of owner of Orlando Shine, which just last month or this month
we've had a year.
It hit a year. Yeah, congratulations on that.
Thank you. Congratulate. You've been instrumental to its success. I won't put that in writing in case you ever sue me for part ownership, but thank you so much.
I think you're also alluding to the fact that I named it.
You did name it.
It's been documented, so I don't know. You're never going to...
But it was a gift. You said at the time, just take the name. You're welcome to have it.
Things I never said for 500, Alex. So let's jump right into one of our stories.
Okay.
This one is about the Mills 50 area. And there is a big renovation happening. This is at the corner of, this is Shine and Colonial, right?
Yeah, right across. It's kitty corner from the Andrew Spears, the former art supply shop. Sam Flax.
Andrew Spears, former art.
Andy Spears did the mural. Am I not awake yet?
I think you may not be, because it sounded like Andrew Spears owned an art shop, and
I should.
Yeah, no, he had. There's a gorgeous mural that's still surviving, luckily.
Yeah, I think it's his first public commission piece, and it's beautiful.
Well, and for those who may not pay attention to the art around town, across the street is Publix.
Yes, Publix. It's probably the most...
Shine Publix, the one that it used to be called the gay Publix, but I don't know if that's still the case.
Yes, they're all kind of gay now, to the chagrin of the owners. But yeah, it's where that fried chicken place opened up. There's a fried chicken place that opened in this stretch, and then next to it, I don't know what it was before. I feel my gut says it was like a Vietnamese VHS shop or something.
Gotcha.
Is going to be turned into a fancy new restaurant. So there's two things that are really happening on this strip, which is the facade is going to be updated, and it looks like rainbows, geometric rainbows.
You know? Well, not the colors of a rainbow, though, according from the
not
renderings.
the Roy G. Biv, but
right.
Of it all, but just in the fact maybe prismatic is more comprehensive.
And they're tapping into, or at least they've applied for the facade program through the city.
Yeah, which is how it got on my radar, because
Gotcha.
I look at all those minutes. I'm reading all those agendas that they have at City Hall, and there was a approval from the you have to approve it, and I think it was the municipal planning board that was approving this. And yeah, they got $40,000 to update the facade, and it's part of I want to say it's almost a $200,000 renovation of the exterior of this building.
It actually, I think the Orlando Shine story said it's over 300,000. It's 347,000.
That's for the restaurant renovation.
I see. I'm sorry.
That's okay. There were a lot of numbers. It was really two different stories sandwiched into one in this. This is the grilled cheese and tomato soup story of the week.
Well, okay, so then the total is probably around 200,000, because there's the money from Headway, which is the property owner, and then there's they're applying for a facade grant, and then also one of the businesses.
And then they'll have a new tenant. Nomori is Nomori LLC. They're planning to open a new restaurant, and we don't know if that's 100% the name of the restaurant. I'm going to assume it is and just lean into it, because it's generally what you do.
Because you saw this in city
in the city docs.
Okay.
And when it's this early in the stages, when they're signing documents to get funding and get permits from the city, it's not always like the name isn't always baked into clay.
Right,
It's not good to go. But generally speaking, when I look at this and I know that they're going through, like, it just seems really thorough, I'm pretty sure that name's going to stick. And it sounds just like an Asian fancy restaurant. We have some of the renderings, their placeholder renderings that they submitted, and it looks very sushi, tapanaki kind of, which is very fitting for Mills 50. And so it's a lot of money going into this space, and everybody seems excited
in that portion, in that intersection. And I really like what's happening there these days, because I feel like with the advent of the main street in that area, for a while it seemed like that intersection was kind of getting left out of the mix.
Yeah, well, the main street itself is traditionally, this could get me in trouble, has focused on the wider businesses, to the north, and I think that's not 100% their fault. It was just harder to engage with the Asian businesses at the time.
I can imagine there was some lack of trust.
Yeah. So that they were holding on to their bits, and this is now we're seeing a resurgence. Is bits the right thing? Can I say bits? Is a third. This is
think it's okay. I think it's an okay word.
Yeah,
we'll check with the FCC though.
Okay, I meant like Lego bits, and then
what?
Like your piece of the puzzle you're holding on.
Yeah,
is that wrong?
I'm not sure. I've lost track of what you're
saying. Full
saying.
Disclosure, everybody. I just got back from a trip abroad.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. So you still feel a little checked out.
I do. I actually had a moment of like, gosh, I was somewhere else this morning, and now I'm here eating a banh mi sandwich from Mills 50.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, anyway, so this obviously.
What was I saying?
You were.
Asian
talking
community.
About Mills 50.
It's interesting to see this resurgence of new businesses. OBJ just put out a story, and they said there are 20 new businesses opening up in Mills 50, and I haven't vetted that. I think some of them are ones that were promised, like things from TMG or maybe something that had recently opened. So I need to look at their list, but it does look like there is a lot of switchover. And so a lot of these traditional Asian families that have owned these businesses in the Mills 50 area have been reluctant to rent out or lease to people who are not family or friends of family. Right? Which
I get it.
I love that.
I get it.
I get it. Gatekeep your community. And so now we're seeing this resurgence of outside investment. We're seeing some really cool brands come in from across the pond that are really interesting that we're not seeing anywhere else. Really, and by that I mean fun tea groups, tea businesses. We see a lot of that. And it's just interesting to see something like this. I don't know. This is the first restaurant I've seen open up in Mills 50 that's not associated with a restaurant group like Good Salt or the Domu people or the people who own Mills Market. So it's fun to see what looks like an outlier trying to do their own thing.
Nice. Well, and I just kind of like how that intersection is coming along, because elsewhere in Mills 50, questionable things have started happening. So,
well, and then also you're seeing this investment in the buildings, and I know the city makes every new business pay an impact fee. So like, does that mean that eventually the infrastructure around Mills 50 is going to get updated, please? Because those roads are crazy.
For sure.
Right, the sidewalks
need more
are not,
pedestrian help, right?
Yeah,
there is something coming
insane.
Around the Wally's area, right?
They're going to put in a little traffic island, so you're not going to be playing Dangerous
right,
Frogger as you run between Wally's and Will's Pub. But some people might say that's boring.
And then, of course, the ever missing element is the enforcement of those crosswalks.
Your favorite.
Yeah.
And
we'll talk more about that because there's a story that relates to this. We're going to take a music break, and then we're going to come back, and we want to hear about your trip before we get into the other four stories. So please enjoy this. This is a song called Geeks. It's by Hailey Knox, and I think you'll enjoy it.
Is this a dig?
We'll be right back with Brendan O'Connor.
Just take a look at us. Aren't we ridiculous? It's safe to say we've got no common sense. yeah. Just take a peek at us. The freaks on the minibus. The geeks you like to throw into the fence, yeah. You know it really hurts and you love it. You know it really hurts, but we'll rise above it. You know it's gonna hurt. Whoa, we know what we're worth, and y'all get what you deserve. When all the geeks inherit the earth, yeah. Hey, aren't we absurd? We're just a bunch of nerds. It's safe to say you're so much cooler than that. So take your punch at us. Go ahead and steal the lunch from us. We'll take the blow and play our part in the act, yeah. You know it really hurts and you love it. You know it really hurts, but you can't solve it. Everywhere it really hurts. Whoa, we know what we're worth, and y'all get what you deserve. When all the geeks inherit the earth, yeah. You toss your sticks and stones, and we'll just lick our wounds. Beware the underdog. Payback is coming soon. Don't blame the universe when the commas reverse. Just look at yourself and whoa, take a look at us, yeah. And then you'll know what's up. 'Cause whoa, we know what we're worth, and y'all get what you deserve. When all the geeks inherit the earth, yeah. Oh, we know what we're worth. We'll all go from worst to first. When all the geeks inherit the earth, yeah.
Welcome back to the Rise and Shine Show. For those of you just joining us, the Rise and Shine Show is all about the most read stories on OrlandoShine.com. And we always try to make it clear that these are not necessarily the top stories or the ones that you might think are the most important. These are just the ones that everybody's reading. And part of what we do is try to figure out the why. I should also give my usual disclaimer that this is a show where we share opinions, and these opinions are not the opinions of beautiful Rollins College or WPRK or anybody I might be employed with, or Brendan's employed by himself, so he can speak his mind. But
cannot you've unmuted me now?
I have. I got to tell you, if I had this at 19 years ago,
whoa,
this mute button. So talk right into the mic and tell us. You just got back from a trip. You let us know that. Where was that trip to?
I went to beautiful Roanoke, Virginia.
As people do this time of year.
Apparently they do. I had no
Really?
idea. Yeah. It's the affordable side of the Blue Ridge Mountains. I didn't know this. And apparently the other side in the Carolinas is a little pricey. And so this part is for the everyman, this side of the Blue Ridge. And I was flown up there by Visit Blue Ridge, which is their tourism authority. And they kind of oversee all these little townships over there centered on Roanoke, which is such a fun thing to say, Roanoke. And I loved it. I had no idea what I was getting into. I have to say, they could do with a few more cute men.
Oh, really?
Yeah, challenge to Roanoke, step it up in your man game. Lots of pretty ladies, but not enough men. And I have to say, if you're looking for a wife or a mountain wife, go to Roanoke, because they're looking for some eligible bachelors. Is what I was hearing.
So, what was something that you told me prior to your trip was that there's something about a star up on a hill?
This is an interesting. So it's star is their theme. There's stars everywhere on historic buildings and not historic buildings, and it's because they have, get this, Scotty, they put up a Christmas star that on this big mountain peak that oversees all of their Roanoke is in like a mountain valley.
Right.
And then on one of the tallest ones, I think it's called Mill Mountain, they put this giant star. It's the size of like a building, and it oversees the whole valley, and it shines bright, and people loved it so much, they made the city decide to keep it year-round, and it's on this giant scaffolding, and so people drive to the top of this scenic mountain to go pay tribute to this giant star that shines over all of the city.
So it's not like
the
Roanoke is Greek for star or anything like that. It's just the star happened to happen. And
yeah, it was the same. It was a Christmas initiative, the same thing that brought the Jack Kazanza star to City of Orlando. And I have to compare the dates because I feel like it happened within the same.
May have been inspired, huh?
Yeah, and I don't know if maybe this was a nationwide thing to put up a giant star in your commercial district or something to celebrate Christmas. I'd love to see what that impetus was, but there's a little history rabbit hole that I can't wait to go down. It's in my notes.
Well, for people who don't know about the Kazanza Star, it hangs during the holidays, hangs over Orange Avenue in downtown Orlando, and it's named after that gentleman because for a while it wasn't being put up, but he led the charge to raise money, et cetera, to get it restored and the tradition back, because it dates back to the 40s, I think, right?
Yeah, and it's because there were two warring, in quotation marks, retail shops downtown.
Right.
That would, they'd hang up the star between them and shake hands for the holidays and try to bring everybody downtown to go shopping.
And they would, and
they did.
I'm sure parking was affordable.
And then the gay man Kazanzas got it restored. And now
I don't think I'm not sure
if he was out.
If he was out, so I'm not sure.
I think everyone says it now. So I'm.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, yes.
I'm sorry if you were
having met Jack. Yes. But I don't know if he was one of the.
Wait, did you
was
meet
that
Jack, or did you meet?
No, I did not. I wouldn't tell you if that was what happened.
Oh.
So you'll just have to wonder.
Have to meditate.
But he was of a certain generation where there was a little bit more of a gentleman understanding, if you will, among some
a toe tapper.
That's a whole other thing. Good grief. So is that your full report about Roanoke, Virginia?
Well, I really went up. One of the big hooks was that they have this series called Concerts by Canoe, and everybody paddles in on this beautiful lake that's about an hour south of Roanoke to hear live music. And I got rained out on the first day, so I couldn't really do it. But they still had, I want to say, 100 people in the rain out on paddleboards and in their boats just having a ball. I think they were drunk by the time I got there, but they're all whooping and hollering. And but just the drive out was gorgeous. But yeah, the restaurant scene was notable. Great retail, really interesting people, real sense of history in Roanoke. And I have to say, from the people that I was talking to, there's a lot of boomerangers, which are people who grew up there and left and are now finding their way back with some more money and talents in their pockets. Mm-hmm. And so they're investing in their town. And that's a real fun energy to be around when you're interviewing people. And one of the people I met was Mike Whiteside, who was a host of the 11-season show Black Dog Salvage and on Discovery Channel. And we had a really interesting chat about the state of Roanoke, the state of diving for treasures in people's barns, and his business that's there, which has really become like a compound. And it's in a really profound spot downtown on the side of this river. And I really was into it. Really cool. Everyone's kind of fit and running around because there's lots of jogging trails and everybody's on bikes and walking around and hills and mountains and nature is just like poised on the edge of the town.
How was it temperature-wise?
Beautiful.
Yeah,
just gorgeous. And the mountains, it's so fun to watch the mists come off the mountains in the mornings, and they are really a shade of blue, going off into the distance. So
oh, cool.
Yeah, and I stayed at Liberty Trust Hotel, which is a renovated, restored historic bank building, which looks, I have to compare that photo. It looks just like One North Orange in downtown Orlando.
Oh, right. I saw that photo of the building. Yeah.
It looks just the same. So I need to see if it's the same architect.
I don't know who, that wasn't Murray S. King, I don't think, who did, he did the building that the History Center is in the Angie built, but I don't think that's him.
I don't know. A lot of these banks, they have something, it's called branded architecture that goes back to banks, but, extended to things like McDonald's and, Pizza Hut, where these businesses come up with an architecture that can just be replicated for all of their locations as they open across the country. And I think, these banks, they really wanted to make a statement of stability and history and you could depend on them.
Right.
Put your money.
Right.
So they put a lot of money into what those buildings looked like.
Now they don't care.
Now they don't care. Yeah, strip malls and strip mall Jesus, just like those churches you see. Anyway, so I went off on a weird series of tangents there, Scottie.
That's all right. I went on an adventure this weekend.
You did?
I did. I went to Black Hammock. The Black Hammock. It's a fish camp. I'm not sure what happens at fish camps.
Almost
I guess
to Titusville, right?
I guess they fish. Yeah. So where was I? Oviedo. Right. And it's on Lake Jessup, and there's a bar, gift shop, birds, the parrots and gators, like medium-sized gators and tiny gators. And then you can also book an airboat ride, which is what we did.
And spend time with the people who wrangle all those creatures.
Yeah. So it did not disappoint. That was my first time on an airboat, and I'm addicted. I totally want my own airboat so I can go back out. But
do you wear little headphones?
You do for the noise.
Okay.
Yeah, for the noise, and then your guide will let you know. Okay, you can take them off because we're going to sit here for a little bit and look and see what's there. But you're in that airboat and you're close to these ospreys, and then you get to see the tiny baby gators. Now, one mistake that we made is the time of year. It's when it's so really hot, the gators don't come out so much.
Oh.
So our guide had to really hunt for them, but we did see little babies, and we did see some other gators.
They're cold-blooded, so they'll come out to heat up.
Yeah,
so if it's warm, then they just stay in the water.
And they don't have access to sunscreen, so they have to stay.
Well,
they have to be,
look at that leathery skin. They look like some of those people I've seen at Playa Linda.
Anyway, it was great. The only the residual of it is we both my date and I got these odd sunburns from our knee to our mid thigh. And I still feel.
She'll feel it like the heat
itchy.
radiating.
Yes,
You wear some tight pants though. You should be wearing something a little flowier if you got a burn on your legs.
All right. Well, thank you for trying to tell me what I should be wearing
as a friend.
So let's see. Let's go ahead and take let's go on to the next story before we take a music break. And this next one is about these rabble-rousers, these kids,
these youths
on motorized bikes, going around in packs.
Yeah,
and
which is just what old people are afraid of,
causing multiple issues because there were emergency vehicles that they were holding up and that sort of thing. And then it turns out, as the police investigated, some of their bikes weren't even registered, that sort of thing. But this is it. I haven't heard so much about these packs like this, kind of like a critical mass of their own, but I don't think it has quite the same goal.
The goal, it's interesting. So the critical mass was really, it's that monthly bike ride. I think it came out of California, right? Back in the day,
maybe
was meant to disrupt They were disruptors, and they chose the busiest time of the night to go out and let traffic know that bicycles are traffic too.
Yes.
And then it spread, and we had one here for a long minute, but then they stopped doing it because you couldn't control what these kids were doing.
Yeah.
You can't control behavior.
Well, it's and over the history of critical mass, this wasn't always kids. There were sometimes that you can find YouTube videos of adult bicyclists getting in the face of police officers and trying to prove a point.
There's something that happens like that group think when you're in a large group of like-minded people out having fun, and when we did critical mass a few times, it's intoxicating stopping traffic. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Like you feel VIP and you just cruise on through town and there's angry car people honking at you and it's fun. This, I guess, is different because they're all kids and they're stunting and they're using e-bikes and motorized bikes as well, which are just like electric little dirt bikes. And those are the issue because those things, I guess, you cannot register. There's something happening.
Which bikes you can't register?
These motorized electric bikes, not the e-bikes, but there's something that's in between an e-bike and a motorbike, and I haven't really done any research, but that's what I'm hearing.
So it's not street legal then.
Yeah, they're not street legal,
right.
and that's what they're getting arrested for.
So it seems like governments are finally taking note of this, and towns are looking into how they can better control because you have
not the time for these kids to do it. I'll be honest, there's a whole thing about youths today having these takeovers, these big parties where they swarm en masse and show up in public areas and do their thing. And so this is an extension of that, of them all getting together, using social media to take over a spot, but now they're taking it all over town. And it's also at a time when e-bikes and these scooters are under scrutiny from the blue hairs who don't like sharing sidewalks with people on e-bikes.
Right. Well, and that's actually a point to make is that this incident happened with young people, but I see it all the time in downtown where the people on the motorized bikes are up on the sidewalk, and yes, you can have a bicycle if you're safe on the sidewalk. It is according to the city code, that's okay, but to me those are a little.
They don't know how to. So there's at least two things to unpack there, Scotty. Right? Is they're up on the sidewalk, and generally speaking, if the sidewalk is big enough for that, cool. You might not have a problem if it's like a multi-use path or like the thing going through Ivanhoe Village that could be shared,
right?
With people going back and forth.
But technically, those bike trails, nothing motorized is supposed to be on them. Yeah.
But when you go downtown, some of those stretches of sidewalk, you can barely fit yourself on. Because,
no, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you
as someone who's almost been clocked by an OPD on a bike,
because there's not enough room.
There's not enough room.
And an OPD person is trained to be on that bike, so they know how to stop on a dime, and do a stunt and get out of the way and hopefully not hurt you.
I hope so.
If they're paying attention.
I hope so.
But Joe Schmo, or if they're out on a date, having fun, they hop on these a scooter. They don't know how to stop, and that's the biggest issue is they don't know how to stop, and they're just cruising along full tilt, thumb down to the wire, going as fast as they can, and then someone walks in front of them. They don't have the wherewithal to stop. They just scream and hope that you'll get out of the way. So there is a disconnect, but this is a little different in the sense that this large group of kids, and they were getting picked off. These cops were like sharks, taking bites into schools of fish,
and we know this
because
there's video you can that you can see on OrlandoShine.com,
and proud video shared by some of the riders of them dodging the cops, and then the cops use those videos from social media because they're letting that person know we got you.
Yeah,
we have your video. We may not have nabbed you, but we have your video, and we know where to find you, and we're going to use it in our edited video, showing us picking you all off. So it's going to happen again. It was crazy. It's just an interesting confluence, I think.
I'm glad to see that OPD is being successful and being able to handle this situation. And But of course, in my mind is, do drivers next, because they're constantly in the way of the emergency vehicles not getting out of the way.
Yeah.
They are not paying attention to the fact that they're not supposed to enter into a crosswalk when somebody is using it.
I think we should all be retested for our license every 10
Oh,
years.
for sure. Well, it's actually, I for a while did the work for Rethink Your Commute, and one of the things I learned there was the rules of the road change every 2 years. They're updated. And when's the last time we had to crack open that book?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
And we're all just kind of flying by the seat of our pants, right?
That's life right there.
That's how you feel when I'm driving.
But I just try to keep looking at my phone. All right, we're going to take a music break here, and we're going to come back, and we have 3 more stories to breeze through. These, again, are the most read stories from our OrlandoShine.com. If you sign up for the newsletter, so I'm trying to
Which
say
you
it in such a
should.
way. No, you can't say.
If you wanted to.
That's a call to action.
If you want to do it.
That's $1,000 fine right
if
there.
you could get into it. What?
If you are interested, but then so you in that newsletter get the most read stories, so you could study up before you hear us yak about
if
them.
you were so inclined.
That's a much better way of putting it.
Thank you.
All right, so enjoy this song, and we'll be back with more of the Rise and Shine show here on WPRK.
I wanna be your superhero, not the one who is the king, not the one who's ever mentioned, but the one who saves your day. I wanna be your taxi driver, get you where you need to go. Doesn't mean we'll get there faster, sometimes good things happen slow, yeah they do. I'll be anything you want me to, just as long as I'm something to you. I wanna be your toothbrush holder, where you start and end your day, knowing the thing that keeps you smiling is always just an arm length away. I wanna be your guilty pleasure, your comfort late night TV show, the one that you can watch forever, never feels like it gets old to you. I'll be anything you want me to, just as long as I'm something to you. Don't really know what tomorrow's gonna bring us, don't really know what the birds are gonna sing us. If I wake up in the morning next to you, then I'll know that dreams come true. I wanna be your contact lenses, see the world through both your eyes. When it all goes and gets too blurry, I will bring those shapes to life for you. I'll be anything you want me to, from the bottom of the sea to the moon, just as long as I'm something to you. Something to you, something to you, something to you, something to you.
Welcome back to the Rise and Shine show. You were listening there to Surfaces, brand new song from them called Contact Lenses. It's on an album called All the Space Between, and I've been playing it on repeat lately.
Why?
I just enjoy the song. It's a
Okay.
funky little song.
It sounds like Jack Johnson to me.
And yet it isn't.
And yet it isn't. I'm just saying it's that same vibe, like Banana Pancakes. Do you know that song?
No, I don't know that song.
Ah,
I don't think. Maybe I've heard it and
I've played it
don't.
for you a million times, but you should listen to it and see if it affects you at a different level now that you're into this guy's music.
And well, Surfaces. These are two guys, and they're from. I think I recently told somebody they were from Australia, and
Okay.
they're actually from Texas. But I think I need to look into this. But they did a song with Elton John during the COVID times, and I think they were stuck in Australia because I'm pretty sure that they recorded it via Zoom.
Oh,
And,
well, maybe they went to Australia because they thought it'd be safer
Maybe
because they eliminated COVID before everybody.
Did they? I don't recall.
Didn't they?
that.
And then they shut it down. They shut down the continent. Wasn't
I-
that a big thing?
I don't remember.
New
A
Zealand,
lot of
maybe?
that stuff I
Uh,
blocked
Well,
out,
that's trauma.
except for the fun parts like cutting my hair myself and things like that.
I still
Winning
don't.
awards at weird
yeah.
award show, things like that.
Yeah.
Fun memories. The Ocoee Music Fest is our next story, and it's our next story because it has been canceled. Sounds like for budget reasons. They are citing the potential of the property tax situation, and it sounds like what they're doing is it's just being proactive and trying to save money.
Yeah, so it's an annual festival, and they apparently lose money on it every year. They spend a lot of money to make this fest happen as a gift to the city.
Well, is that the way to put it? That they're spending money on it, but is that losing money if you're investing in your
Well,
community?
if it some people maybe I've been polluted by the comments because people are like, this is a music festival isn't something they should be spending our tax dollars on, is what a lot of Ocoee people are saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, like there's
it's like the people who are like, does this train make money? Well, the train may not make money, but neither does the road you're driving on.
yeah, right.
So,
Love it.
we
are of the same mind there, but there is a group of people that is now, chomping at the bit. They see this as an example of government misspending their dollars, and so there has been an outspoken section of people, at least in online comments, saying, this is great. If you can't make money off of a music festival, then you shouldn't host it, or if you can't find the sponsors to offset that cost, then don't do it. So it's great that they're not having this festival is what some people are saying. But then there are also thousands of other people who are saying, we really look forward to this every year. Maybe they should be charging for tickets or
it's been
something.
30 years, right, that they've been doing
think
it.
it has been
And
30.
I think your article mentioned that
More than 30.
It's just been the only other time it's been canceled was due to COVID.
Yeah, people really looked forward to it. It's a shame. But, again, the city of Ocoee is saying we need to do this because we're looking at a potential loss of $8 million in annual property tax by 2028.
Well, and in fairness, I hate to see the arts taking a hit, but in fairness to the city, you're talking about, hopefully this, in my humble opinion, this property tax thing does not go through because people who are for it, in my opinion, are very short-sighted about the things that are covered. It's like we don't. What's the fascination with getting free things? What blah blah blah. Well, your police are free. Your fire department is free. These are, that's a way to bash the liberals, right? By talking about free things, but we have free things and we need those free things. And taxes are there for
A reason.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so we'll see what happens. I have to say, there's a great play-by-play by Noreen Dworkin, who interviewed the city manager, Craig Shadracks, and it's on Vox Populi, which they really cover that part, that West Orange County
Gotcha.
super well. Another independent news outlet. So if you haven't heard of Vox Populi before, I at this moment will endorse them, and they're part of that Central Florida news conglomerate group that I'm itching to get into. So holler at Noreen for a great piece if you want to read her piece. It has a little bit more behind the scenes interview stuff as part of it.
let's go. We're gonna do these next two stories backwards because I know that the swan thing is going to take us a little bit. So let's get this out of the way. Camping World has released renderings. Talk about money.
This is it. So you missed. Wait. So this is for the.
No, this is not the thing that's next door. This is the
Okay.
LED, the additional seating.
Yeah.
Well, we're placing bleachers apparently, so not necessarily additional seating, but they're going to be individual seats.
They'll have 2,000 more seats, I think, will be added. Not a huge allotment if you think about it, but it's because they're connecting the concourses. Is that correct? The wings?
No, don't know if people could hear me burping there.
I know I did too at the same time.
Wow,
weird.
So excuse us if you did happen to hear that, and if you didn't, sorry I mentioned it.
Just turn it up. Turn up your bass.
Well, it's also so the stadium is also going to become a little bit more adaptable for the various things that it does because everything happens there from concerts to soccer games to football.
Monster truck rallies.
Monster truck, which I always worry about these venues. The one that my mind still can't wrap itself around is that the Kia Center does monster trucks. Yeah. I'm just like...
They're apparently doing all the Olympic trial stuff.
At Camping World?
Yeah, all there.
When are they going to have a different name? Because my understanding is Camping World hasn't paid for...
a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hearing rumors it might be Ford.
Oh, well, there you go. The Ford Stadium.
Ford Stadium. Ford. I guess it'd just be Ford Stadium.
The Ford F-150 Stadium.
Ford, drive it your way. Truck dome. Yeah,
I like that a little better.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't realize Camping World was a thing.
I'm guessing they're going to unveil it at the same time that they open it. You know, they're going to have a fancy new mesh around it that's LED and it'll change colors depending on what is happening inside of it. Retractable seating in one part of it.
Have there ever been studies about when people get the naming rights to these things, does it actually help their business?
Yeah.
Because
I think so. Yeah.
You've seen studies. Or you're just anecdotally saying, I'm Brendan O'Connor. And I think it did. I think it does happen.
I did. It's more of that. But
okay.
I do feel like maybe I've seen reports, but the report were by the people who received the money.
It's
here's why it's good.
It's sometimes awkward. Like the renaming of the soccer stadium now, they rebranded themselves, this bank that I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
Before they got the naming rights to the stadium, and now they've dropped the and they have a dot. So now, and they spent all the signage has changed, so that it's a lot of money. So, and I'm assuming Inter.co had to pay for that. I would hope.
Well, and it's through the sponsorship dollars, right? And so they probably renewed their commitment with the Wilf family and with the league, and through that renewal, they said, and also, you need to change all the signage. Here's what it's changing to.
Yeah, I didn't know what Exploria was either, but at least it kind of sounded like a place.
Oh gosh, we've seen one of
the
resorts.
Exploria Stadium. And then the funniest thing about Kia is the stories I've heard of people getting like an Uber and telling them, putting in the wrong thing, and they're heading to a dealership because they put in the wrong Kia.
Yeah. Did you hear that at your Mayor City Academy?
At my Mayor City Academy?
Isn't that, what did you go to?
I just did Connect DTO.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, through the Downtown Orlando Partnership. Highly recommended if you're interested in learning about downtown.
I've done it and I loved it.
You can meet interesting people and learn about all the ins and outs of the downtown.
Can I say one more thing about this rendering thing that I think is interesting?
Why did it take them so long?
Yeah. They've started, demo and construction started in December of last year. Mm-hmm. Right? And now they're releasing the renderings.
Yeah.
So, now they're getting approval for the renderings. And I understand that it's been expedited because they need to have this finished, I think, by the end of 2027 so they can get the Jaguars in there. That seems right. I think it's the end of 2027.
Is it? Yeah, I think that's correct because they're having a big renovation at their home.
So in what world could anyone but the city start construction demolition without renderings already being finished and stamped approved by everyone? That is a precedent that I don't think I've seen. And I don't see anyone asking a question of why are we just getting the renderings now when the wrecking ball is already swinging?
Yeah, I don't have an answer
Right
for you.
And it's because they will, and I'm sure when I ask them and corner them, I'll be, how come we didn't hear about this before? Why didn't you give the renderings before you started swinging? They'll say, oh, it's because of the timeline. Great. Can someone else say that to you? Can I say that? Oh, well, I have a timeline of I have to get.
No, it's it's some of the.
That's a lawsuit.
And it's things are changing. So
yeah. Anyway, that's that. That one's boring. Do you want to talk about swans?
Sure. Let's talk about swans because there has been some progress in these are the swans that are at Lake Eola. It's been an ongoing saga here for a while because it kind of came to light because of, well, I think there were citizens prior to that were a little concerned by this.
There is
the amount of swans, the fact that when you would walk around the lake, it just smelled like swan poop, and the fact that people interacting with them was problematic. But then 29 of them, died from. We were told some sort of bird flu, but
I want to say over 30.
Yeah.
Died from the results of bird flu is what did them in, but they were all kind of like blank slate hurting already. Things like they had parasites or clubfoot. There's this thing called bumblefoot where that it's like a infection they get in their
character in a Dickens book.
It
I
does
believe.
that, right? Or a Hobbit. It's something they get from walking on hard or abrasive surfaces. They're not meant, like they have sensitive feet and they're not meant to be walking on asphalt or concrete.
Right.
And if they get they'll get a bacterial infection and then it kind of makes them get like a clubfoot. And that a lot of them get that at Lake Eola just because of course they're going to get it from that water. And what was I saying?
I'm not sure, but let's fast forward a little bit.
Fast forward.
Then there was a whole
take the wheel, Scott.
There was a whole come to Jesus with the city council where people they voiced their concerns.
Yes, led by Andrew Marshall, who is the docent, the head face of the volunteer care program. They're all volunteers that really led the care of the swans at Lake Eola.
And this is where Mayor Buddy famously stated he was really surprised that people were for the idea of the swans not being there, that people felt that the city wasn't being responsible enough or maybe couldn't afford it. I don't know how people were interpreting it, but I think that surprised them because, of course, it's this. The swans have become like this symbol of our city, which is a little. I know there are some old school people. I had an argument with one person who's lived here all his life, and it was like this travesty that the swans were going away, because this is his home and it's a symbol and all that jazz. But it's also a symbol of a lot of other places, so it's not unique to Orlando.
True, Lakeland just up the street, and they share the same part-time veterinarian, the cat and dog veterinarian that looks after the swans.
Right.
They share them. Yeah. So, but it is the swan. There's a swan everywhere, whether other cities have it or not. The swan iconography is a part of everything. I helped Soto Main Street do a call for artists for their electric boxes, and Scotty, I would say, 50 of the 60 submissions had a swan involved somehow.
Yeah.
It's part of what you think about. It's what people think about when they're thinking of Orlando, which is great.
I almost got a swan tattoo instead of my orange because part of the branding for Local Wanderer was also this cool swan that Sean had done. Sean, why am I blanking on his last name? Secret Society Goods.
Oh,
Sean. Oh my
Sean.
gosh,
Hey,
Sean! I'm sorry, I'm blanking on your name. But anyway, then they start saying they at least said they were rehoming.
Yeah. So there was an issue with so the volunteers were saying they're not getting enough attention. There's some sort of disconnect. We have too many swans on the lake. In the light of all of these swans dying from COVID, what can we do? And the city said, nothing, don't worry about it. And then they put a pause. They told all the volunteers to stop coming in. They said, no more volunteers. The parks staff will start looking after the swans. And then in that step, Scotty, the staff stopped feeding them. They just were like, well, we're just part of this transition. We'll just stop feeding the swans with food, and they could just eat whatever's in the lake. It's just crazy. Anyway, there's too much to get into. We don't really have enough time, but those swans, I wrote a scathing expose where I talked to some water quality experts. I talked to veterinarian, wildlife behavioralists and avian experts. Like, what does it look like? What are we looking at here? What are these pieces? And what I came up with was, the lake is a stormwater retention pond. Everything washes into it from downtown Orlando, which means there's lots of nutrients and garbage. That water is then treated. It was up until really us reporting about it was being treated with something very high in lead, an algicide high in lead, and swans are feeder filter. Like they'll eat grit, and things from the ground. Okay. So they're eating that lead, which from necropsies they have, multiple swans had too much lead. Some had lead poisoning in their bodies already. Some of their innards were stained from like a different color because of
how do you know that?
Because I have the necropsy results,
and you can, and on them you see that they're
they're saying these are the things that are wrong with the swan.
That, like, you could use some sort of spray or something to
afterwards
unstain them.
You could.
Oh, they're dead.
Yeah,
necropsy. I got it.
So when a bird dies, like as a result of the COVID, actually when any bird was dying, they have to send it for a post-mortem to see what caused it.
Yeah, to make sure it's not.
These are a class 3 protected species, and so they just need to see what led to that. And in these findings, like, they had parasites, some of them are blind, they're lame, they paused the program. The city's like, I don't have the wherewithal to add more to this table, so we're just going to see what we can do about it. They inevitably ended or said pause to the program, and they said that's because we're going to be doing some big renovations at Lake Eola, and the swans shouldn't be here for that. Maybe we'll bring them back later. I found a report that a parks person had created that said really that they decided to end the program because it would have cost $300,000 a year. That's without starting project costs and without salaries for people to look after them. It's a lot of money. They don't have that right now, and they're looking in the face, just like Ocoee, of what happens with these property tax exemptions. And it's just a lot of cover-up stuff that doesn't need to be covered up. They could have, I think everyone would have agreed, hey, this is what it costs for swans to be looked after correctly. We think it's too expensive at this moment to continue with the program, and I think everyone would have said, oh, that's some responsible governance that we're hearing. Let's go with that.
So we're running out of time here. So
the swans are gone. They've been rehomed. They're gone. I think it's because of me, because I was asking, hey, why are half of the swans still here on the lake? When are they being removed? Some of them have broken legs. What's going on? Who looks after what? And then they had an emergency meeting, and now all the swans are gone. And I apologize. It's my fault.
If you want all the details, you can go to orlandoshine.com, or you can follow the social medias. It's the Orlando Shine on all the socials. Brennan, thank you for being here with us. We're going to close out the show today with a song by Brandi Carlile. This is Stay Gentle, and we'll see you here. Yes.
If you ever let me back on, Scottie, I'll try not to be so rambly. Sorry, everybody.
We'll it's under consideration. We'll see you here next Tuesday at 9 a.m. Thank you for listening.
Rise and shine.
Shine on.
Stay gentle, keep the eyes of a child. Don't harden your heart or your hands. Know to find joy in the darkness is wise, although they will think you don't understand.
Don't let the world make you callous. Be ready to laugh. No one's forgotten about us. There is light on your path. Stay gentle. Keep the eyes of a child. And wear your heart on your sleeve. Know to find joy in the darkness is wise, although they will think you are naive. Don't let them lower your shoulders. Love them more while they try. Grow younger while you're growing older. Be amazed by the sky. Darling, stay wild if you can. The girl with the world in her hands. The kingdom of heaven belongs to a boy, while his worry belongs to a man. Stay gentle, stay gentle. The most powerful thing you can do